Discover the power within. Let go of the past, live in the present. Hello, dear soul family. Welcome to my channel. Today, we're diving into an incredibly profound topic that can change your life and connect you with your inner power. If you can take just one good idea from this video and use it to improve the quality of your life, then my mission is complete. On this journey, you'll hear many terms such as power, infinite mind, higher self, universal power, inner wisdom, and so on. Don't worry, they all refer to the same source, that boundless power that governs the universe and is also within you. It doesn't matter what you call it, what matters is feeling and accepting its presence. If any name bothers you, substitute another that feels right for you. The most important thing we need to remember is this: the great power we are all seeking out there is actually already within us. And that power is readily available to you, waiting to be used to transform your life in a positive way. This video will reveal to you just how powerful you truly are. Perhaps you see me as a healer, but believe me, I don't heal anyone. I simply act as a stepping stone on your path of self-discovery. My only job is to create a space where people can learn how incredibly wonderful they are by teaching them how to love themselves. I am a supporter. I help people take charge of their lives, helping them to discover their own power, inner wisdom, and strengths. I help them remove all the obstacles in their way so they can love themselves, no matter what circumstances they happen to be going through. This doesn't mean we won't have problems, but how we react to problems makes a tremendous difference. After years of individual counseling, hundreds of workshops and training programs, I found one single thing that seems to heal every problem: self-love. It's incredible how people's lives improve when they start loving themselves more each day. They feel better about themselves, they find the jobs they want, they have the money they need, their relationships either improve or unhealthy ones dissolve and new ones begin. It's a simple premise: self-love. Sometimes I've been criticized for being too simple, but I've found that the simplest things usually have the most profound impact. Someone recently told me, "You gave me the most wonderful gift. You gave myself back to me." Most of us hide from ourselves. We don't even know who we are, what we feel, or what we want. For me, life is a journey of self-discovery. Enlightenment means going within and truly knowing who and what we are, and knowing that we have the ability to change for the better by loving and taking good care of ourselves. Self-love is not selfishness. On the contrary, it cleanses us so we can love ourselves enough to love others. When we come from a large space of love and joy, we can truly help the planet. The power that created this incredible universe has often been referred to as love, because God is love. They say love makes the world go round for a reason. Love is the binding substance that holds the entire universe together. For me, love is a deep appreciation. When I speak of loving ourselves, I mean having a deep appreciation for who we are, unconditionally accepting all parts of ourselves, our little quirks, embarrassing moments, things we don't do well, and of course, all our wonderful qualities too. We accept the whole package with unconditional love. Unfortunately, most of us believe we won't love ourselves until we lose weight, until we find a job, until we get a raise, or until we find the right partner. We often place conditions on our love, but know that we can change. We can love ourselves exactly as we are right now. Currently, there is a general lack of love on our planet. I believe our entire planet has a kind of illness. But this physical challenge has given us the opportunity to break down barriers, transcend our moral standards, religious and political differences, and open our hearts. The more of us who can do this, the faster we will find the answers. We are in the midst of tremendous individual and global change. I believe that all of us living at this time have chosen to be here to be a part of these changes, to bring about transformation, and to turn the world from its old way of living into a more loving and peaceful existence. If you are not willing to love yourself today, you will not love yourself tomorrow either, because the excuse you have today will be with you tomorrow. Perhaps 20 years from now, you will still have the same excuse, and you might even leave this life with that excuse. Today is the day you can completely love yourself without any expectations. I want to help create a world where it's safe to love one another, where we can express who we are and be loved and accepted by the people around us without judgment, criticism, or prejudice. Remember, love begins at home. The Bible says love your neighbor as yourself, but how often do we forget those last two words, as yourself? Unless love begins within us, we cannot truly love anyone outside. Self-love is the most important gift we can give ourselves. Because when we love who we are, we don't harm ourselves and we don't harm others. If there were inner peace, there would be no wars, no gangs, no terrorists, and no homeless people. There would be no disease, AIDS, cancer, poverty, and hunger. For me, this is a prescription for world peace. To have peace, understanding, compassion, forgiveness, and above all, love within us. The power to effect these changes is within us. Love, just like anger, hatred, or sadness, is something we can choose. It's always a choice within us. Let's start choosing love right now, in this moment. It is the most powerful healing force that exists. Now, let's delve deeper into Louise Hay's teachings to discover how we can be more conscious in our lives. When we expand our thoughts and beliefs, our love flows freely. When we contract, we close ourselves off. The more you connect with the power within you, the freer you can be in all areas of your life. Ask yourself, who am I? Why am I here? What are my beliefs about life? For thousands of years, finding the answers to these questions meant going within. But what does that mean? What was the first inner answer you gave to the question, who am I? Feel free to share. I believe there is a power within each of us that can lovingly guide us to our perfect health, perfect relationships, perfect careers, and bring us all kinds of prosperity. To have these things, we must first believe they are possible. Then, we must be willing to release the patterns that created the conditions we say we don't want in our lives. We do this by going within and tapping into the inner power that already knows what is best for us. If we are willing to surrender our lives to this greater power within us, this power that loves and sustains us, we can create more loving and prosperous lives. Remember, our minds are always connected to the one infinite mind, and therefore all knowledge and wisdom are always open to us. We must understand that we have the option to use this power in any way. If we choose to dwell in the past and revisit all the negative situations that happened in the past, we remain stuck where we are. But if we make a conscious decision not to be a victim of the past and to create new lives for ourselves, we are supported by this power within us, and new, happier experiences begin to emerge. I believe that every condition in our lives, good or bad, has been contributed to by our patterns of thought and feeling. The thoughts we think create our feelings, and then we begin to live according to these feelings and beliefs. This is not about blaming ourselves, but rather about taking back our power. Blaming is giving power to others. Responsibility, on the other hand, gives us the power to make changes in our lives. If we play the victim role, we are using our personal power to be helpless. But if we decide to accept responsibility, we don't waste time blaming someone or something outside. Lovingly release the past and live in the present. Some people feel guilty because they created illness or problems. They interpret responsibility as guilt. This is not what I'm talking about. If we can use our problems and illnesses as an opportunity to think about how we can change our lives, then we have power. Many people who have gone through catastrophic illnesses say it was the most wonderful thing that ever happened to them, because it gave them a chance to live their lives differently. Responsibility is our ability to respond to a situation. We always have a choice. This does not mean we deny who we are. We can simply accept that we have contributed to where we are. By taking responsibility, we have the power to change. We can say, what can I do to make this different? We must understand that we all always have personal power. It just depends on how we use it. Most of us realize we come from dysfunctional homes and carry many negative feelings about life. My childhood was full of violence. I lacked love and compassion and had no self-confidence. As I grew up, I continued to recreate these experiences. At that time, I didn't understand that I had the power to change all of this. I was brutally harsh with myself because I interpreted the lack of love as meaning I had to be a bad person. All events you have experienced in your life up to this point have been created by your thoughts and beliefs in the past. But do not look at the past with shame. Look at the past as part of the richness of your life. Without that richness, we would not be here today. There is no reason to beat yourself up for not doing better. You did the best you knew how. Lovingly release the past and be grateful that it brought you to this new awareness. The past only exists in our minds. This is the moment we live, feel, and experience. What we are doing right now is laying the groundwork for tomorrow. So this is the moment of decision. We cannot do anything tomorrow, and we cannot do anything yesterday. We can only do it today. What is important is that right now we are choosing what we think, what we believe, and what we say. When we begin to take conscious responsibility for our thoughts and words, we have powerful tools in our hands. I know this sounds simple, but remember, your point of power is always in the present moment. It is important to understand that your mind is not in control of you. You are in control of your mind. Your higher self is in control. You can stop old thoughts. When your old thoughts try to come back and say it's too hard to change, go into mental command. Tell your mind, I now choose to believe that change is easy for me. You may need to have this conversation with your mind a few times, but eventually it will understand that you are in charge. Imagine your thoughts are like drops of water. A single thought doesn't mean much, but as you repeat the same thoughts over and over again, they can first turn into a small stain, then a puddle, and finally an ocean. What kind of ocean are you creating? A dirty and toxic one? Or a crystal clear, refreshing one? What is the most frequently repeated negative thought in your mind right now? How can you transform it into a positive affirmation? People often tell me, I can't stop a certain thought. My answer is always the same. Yes, you can. Remember how many times you refused to think a positive thought? Just tell your mind you're going to do it. Decide to stop thinking negatively. When negative thoughts come, instead of fighting them, just say, thank you for sharing. This way, you don't deny what exists, and you don't surrender your power to the negative thought. Tell yourself you won't dwell on negativity anymore. Don't drown in your own negativity. You need to swim in the ocean of life. You were meant to be a wonderful, loving expression of life. Life is waiting for you to open up, to feel worthy of the good it holds for you. The wisdom and intelligence of the universe are at your disposal. Life is here to support you. Trust the power within you. It will be there for you. When you're scared, it helps to become aware of your breath moving in and out of your body. Your breath, the most precious substance of your life, is given to you freely. You accept it without thinking, but you doubt that life can provide your other needs. Now is the time to learn your own power and what you can do. Go within and discover who you are. We all have different opinions. You have a right to your opinion, and I have a right to mine. No matter what is happening in the world, the only thing you can work on is what is right for you. You want to get in touch with your inner guidance, because that is the wisdom that knows the answers for you. All the answers to all the questions you will ever ask are within you now. And every time you say, I don't know, you close the door to your own inner wisdom. The messages you receive from your higher self should be positive and supportive. If you start receiving negative messages, then you are operating from your ego and your human mind level, or perhaps even your imagination. Support yourself by making the right choices for you. When in doubt, ask yourself, is this a loving decision for me? Is this right for me right now? As we learn to love ourselves and trust our higher power, we become co-creators of a loving world with the infinite spirit. Our self-love carries us from being victims to being winners. Our self-love attracts wonderful experiences to us. Have you noticed that people who feel good about themselves are naturally attractive? I learned a long time ago that I am a being at one with the presence and power of God. Knowing that the wisdom and understanding of spirit are within me, I know I am divinely guided in all my relationships with others. Just as all the stars and planets are in their perfect orbits, so am I in my divine right order. My current experience is a stepping stone to new awarenesses and new opportunities. What was your biggest transformation in life, and what did it teach you about yourself? Remember who you are, what you came here to learn, and what you came here to teach. We all have a unique purpose. We are far more than our personalities, our problems, our fears, and our diseases. We are far more than our bodies. We are all connected to everyone on the planet and to all life. We are all spirit, light, energy, vibration, and love. And we all have the power to live our lives with purpose and meaning. Remember, the thoughts we choose to think are the tools we use to paint the canvas of our lives. If you are willing to change your life, you can change your thoughts. The point of power is always in the present moment, and your mind is under your control. Every day, declare what you want for yourself in your life. Declare it as if it already exists. Just like the law of gravity, there are spiritual laws such as the law of cause and effect. We are constantly creating with our thoughts, words, and emotions. By making conscious choices, you have the power to create the life you desire. Dear Soul Family, thank you for joining me on this journey. I hope this information helps you discover your inner power and create the positive changes you desire in your life. If this video inspired you, please don't forget to like it. In the comments, share your thoughts and the biggest inspiration you took from this video. Every comment you make helps our soul family grow and inspires others. Stay with love, let your light shine. See you in our next video. Goodbye.